After that yellow monstrosity, it's kind of a relief to see a picture like this. This is really the first one that we've looked at that you just say it's a really excellent original when we get it. The color is fine. I've checked that out. The range is very good. You have full shadow here. This is the lightest significant area of the image, the fingernail, and it's there, but it's as light as it can possibly be. So we've got good range, really nice composition, and it would be easy to say, just let it go the way it is. I mean, it's great photography. But we maybe can learn something from the last terrible original, even when we're working on something good like this. Now, there is no yellow color cast here, so we don't have to worry about that. But we did find out in the last image that in faces, the green channel usually does the best portrayal of the natural contrast. And let's see whether that's true here. Here's the red. See, that's rather weak. That's kind of normal. The green, okay, very, very sort of punchy. See all the pores, you see all the wrinkles. And the green is a little bit contrasty, a little bit too much of the reflections here, and the dark areas there. So the green is the best channel of the three. Well, that means we should be able to do something with it to get a little bit more drama into the picture. One of the difficulties with using the green is that the scarf here is kind of dark, so there's some possibility that it might turn black if we blend the green into all the other channels. But what about if we just activate everything? All the channels are open now. I'm going to make a new layer and apply image of the green to everything. Now, as I said, I'm worried about this back here, so I'll use a lower opacity, maybe 60 or 70%. Okay, so here's before that blend, here's after. Picture got much more gray because it's closer to neutral now because everything resembles the green channel. But let's see what happens when we do luminosity mode. Okay, so here's before and here's after. And you should be able to see a good deal more definition in the face. It's deeper. You can see a little bit more of the pore structure here and the weather-beaten face over here. We may be able to do even more if we put on a curve and go to the green channel and try and force a little bit more into the face by putting it into the steepest area of the curve. I can even lose a little bit of shadow detail by doing this. So if I show where the face is lying, this is now in a steep part of the green curve. Okay, have we accomplished anything here? I'm not sure. Let's go to luminosity mode and see what that last curve did. Here's before the curve and here's after. Possibly want to now steepen this. There we go. That's more like what I would like to see. Here's before that second curve and here's after. Okay, so now we've got a lot of definition here. We maybe could use a little bit more color because we've learned throughout this session that when we do luminosity moves, the normal boost in color just doesn't happen because luminosity says just work on detail, not color. So I'm thinking we're done now in RGB. Move into LAB, flatten it, and apply the action that we wrote. Here it is. And now we're in this happy situation where we have too much color. Now, why is that a happy situation? That's really the theme of the second video that we'll be doing on Bad Originals, how to deal with color. And nowadays, as opposed to 2 or 3 years ago, I tend to believe that every image should be treated this way. There should be a point where you get to somewheres like this, where there's obviously way too much color. Because I find it's easier to back off too much color than it is to force in more color when the picture is too dull. Like, for example, here, I think that the most objectionable color is probably in her cheeks, because this has become really bright orange, and her chin too. That's pretty ugly looking. So the most objectionable colors are dark. So rather than go in here and reduce the opacity, I think I would put a layer mask. Use the L channel as a layer mask to restrict the extra color to the lighter areas. Like right here, I don't mind the flame being that colorful, but let's see what a layer mask will do. Okay, so the layer mask is the target. When we say LAB, that means the lightness channel. They're equivalent. So we put that in, and now let's see before and after the application of the layer mask. This is after, and this is before. So we're kind of in the right vicinity. And now let's see without that layer at all, without boosting the color at all. This is before we got there. This is after. So now we make a seat of the pants decision as to whether this looks good or whether we want to move in this direction. I don't think we want to leave it like that, but somewhere's between the two, like perhaps something like this. Whatever you find attractive, use that number. And that should do it. Now we move back into RGB, and I've got a copy of this picture, of the original picture, waiting for us. So I'm going to apply that. So that's the original, which we agreed looked very good. And then we have this, which puts a lot more pop into it and more color, and all because we realized the green channel was as much better in this picture as it was in the bad original of the yellow lady.